The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, after an amazing career-defining performance at Hell in a Cell, winning and beating Seth freaking Rollins with a broken freaking pec, now is completely out of the picture after being taken out last night by Seth Rollins, but now is undergoing some surgery and could be out 4 to 6 months, according to a former WWE doctor. We're going to jump into that story. Plus, Fox announces that they are continuing their partnership with WWE with Friday Night SmackDown on Fridays. Renee Paquette and Bryan Danielson reunite once again, this time at Starrcast V in Nashville. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shows love to his mama by buying her a beautiful dream house, and WWE 2K22 announces the Stand Back, we're coming through DLC pack. That's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to jump into that and more in today's edition of the Top Story. Share the link or you stink. Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. When I say watch, you say out. Watch.
Out.
Yeah, buddy. What's up, Watch Out Army? It is the Top Story here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Jose G. Next to me, my compatriota, Jeremy Bennett. What's up, broski? How you doing today?
Good, man. What's happening?
And not much, man. We still got a lot of Cody Rhodes to get into. We got a lot of big headlines to get into, guys. So make sure you are liking, sharing, and subscribing to today's show. Make sure you're also engaging with the show by smashing that like button, smashing that notification bell on YouTube so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. We're already over 30,000. Our next goal is 32,000. So make sure you go ahead and share the love by doing that right now. But let's jump into our lead story here. We got Cody Rhodes. Last night had a very emotional speech on Monday Night Raw, even calling his shot that he'll, almost insinuated that he will be at Money in the Bank. Then afterwards getting taken out by Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins showed him a little bit of respect, gets taken out with the sledgehammer, writing him off TV. Today we get a report that a former WWE doctor who has worked on things like this before is saying that he could be out 4 to 6 months, Jeremy.
Yeah, former WWE physician Dr. Chow talked to Busted Open Radio today and says he expects a full 100% recovery for him to get as good as he can be. It might be 6 months, but by 4 months, it's realistic he could do some wrestling, and maybe even 3 months, a little bit of careful scripted stuff. Of course, Cody was teasing that he will be in Money in the Bank, so I guess he's not written out of that yet. He could be stubborn enough to hold off surgery till then, but I doubt he'd really want to, just because there's no way to tolerate that pain for the better part of a month. And but the reason why he continued the match, as I had mentioned, other doctors have mentioned that there was no risk of it being any worse. It was more of a pain management thing, so that's why Cody went forward with the match at Hell in a Cell. It's weird that he teased the Money in the Bank thing, but I think maybe the Seth Rollins attack wrote him off. Word is, Fightful Select had reported that he was supposed to have surgery Thursday. Then Corey Graves said on Raw last night that it was Wednesday. So if he officially has surgery, yeah, definitely write him off for Money in the Bank. If we hear otherwise, and you never know. I think Cody's known to be one of the most stubborn wrestlers in the world, so you never know.
I mean, unless Cody has a supernatural ability that we don't know about, like quick regeneration, I don't see how he'll be back by in time for Money in the Bank. When we see these cases, when we saw Triple H, he was out for a very long time. We saw, when John Cena had his, he had a miraculous comeback. Nobody was expecting him to be back.
It was still close to 4 months.
It was still close to 4 months. So even at 4 months, the shortest time period, it's still going to be quite some time. And that'll still put him around Survivor Series. But I'm almost have the feeling that this almost kind of lines up perfectly with him having a comeback at the Rumble, hopefully winning the Rumble, and then having some type of a main event situation at WrestleMania. Or I don't know. I don't know how they're going to play this out. but it'll certainly be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I said last night. Was I expected him to return at the Rumble? The time frame lines up there. Now you probably could put Seth Rollins as a favorite to win Money in the Bank, and then have Cody screw his cash in. There's some things there you could do with that. Again, I'm more for having more of an up and comer win the Money in the Bank, but I don't know if there is anybody that you could really put that on at this point right now. So right now, your leaders are probably Lashley or Rollins at this point, is my guess.
So that begs a question, just like Zaki, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, Zaki Balak on YouTube is asking, so who are they putting over in Money in the Bank in place of Cody? So we've already got Bobby Lashley, who alluded that he's probably going to participate in this match. There's a lot of guys on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown that could fill in this position for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, SmackDown, I guess, that's kind of wide open. You could have a Sami Zayn.
Nakamura.
Yep,
Nakamura, Sami Zayn.
I think Sami Zayn would be very well to do. You could have Xavier Woods maybe in there. Madcap Moss has been my breakout star of the year so far in terms of what he's done. Madcap Moss definitely deserves to be in that match. On the Raw side, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Owens isn't in it. He signed that big contract. There's going to be eventually a big push for him. So it would be kind of cool to see him win Money in the Bank, to be honest with you. Bobby Lashley, of course, teasing a title run. Edge is now a babyface after that crazy, surprising boot he got from the Judgment Day last night. Who knows how long Edge is going to be out, so he could maybe come back and be in it. I would assume that he's coming back to probably feud with Judgment Day, though, instead of being in Money in the Bank, so you could probably leave him out of it. Montez Ford is a guy I'd love to see in that match as well.
I think those are all incredible names that you just put down. We also see names like Damian Priest right now. Who's the leader of Judgment Day? Is it Priest or is it Balor? Like, we don't know, but they're putting, they put Priest in a position where he's the one that turned on Edge and delivered that turning and that turning blow. So something makes me think that there's big plans for Damian Priest later on. He could be in the Money in the Bank match. Kevin Owens is a great one. I think he's well overdue to win a Money in the Bank. But it'll certainly get interesting over the next few weeks. We already got one match already set up: Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. So things will get interesting as we get closer to Money in the Bank. If you guys are just tuning in right now, thank you so much. I appreciate you. We love you. Thank you. And show us the love, guys, by liking the show right now. Hit that like button, engage with the show, share tonight's show with your friends. Go ahead and share it in your favorite wrestling group. Tag your friends in the comment section if you're watching on Facebook so they can tune in and join in the conversation. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. And also give us a like on Twitch. It is official. Our weekly show is back. Not the debrief, but close. Getting over with on Twitch is back this Wednesday. We're going to be doing GM mode, a little bit of AEW Dynamite recap. So join us every Wednesday night immediately after AEW Dynamite on Twitch for Getting Over on Twitch with Jeremy. So this is fun, man. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, we'll dive back into GM mode. We'll, of course, obviously, we'll kick the show off doing a debrief of AEW Dynamite, what we've seen and heard from tomorrow night's show, and then get into some more GM mode. Eventually down the line, probably sometime early next month, we may have some giveaways. Do a little Retromania wrestling on the PS5, PS4 as well. Maybe give away some video game codes for that as well. And more stuff coming around, but we are now officially going to be on every Wednesday night after Dynamite.
And again, you can find us by searching Sportskeeda Wrestling on Twitch. Again, that's Sportskeeda Wrestling on Twitch. So make sure you give us a subscribe over there. And again, guys, much love to all of y'all. If you are just tuning in, watch out to the Watch Out Army. But let's move on to our next story here. SmackDown. There was a lot of talk about what's going to happen to SmackDown. The deal is coming up here very soon in the next year or two. And Fox announced today during their fall lineup that they plan to keep Fox on Friday nights. What's the story here?
Yeah, not a big surprise here, but during the announcement of Premier's renewals in the press release, single line just reads Fox WWE Friday Night SmackDown continues on Fridays, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Pacific throughout the season. So no change to SmackDown at all here. No surprise either, as it's been touted as a ratings victory for Fox. The show has been regularly top of the Friday night ratings, as well as usually getting over 2 million in viewership from week to week. They signed a deal with Fox in 2018, with the show debuting in October of 2019, and the deal ends in 2024. So no big surprise there, but SmackDown to continue where it's at right now.
Yeah, man, it actually it has been a very good ratings getter for Fox, especially on a Friday night at prime time, when usually Friday night prime time is usually, like the death switch for any type of programming. But it's actually resulted very good for SmackDown. So
Yeah.
not really much of a surprise here.
Yeah, 7 to 9 Central is not really a bad time slot on Friday. It's when you get to that 9 to 10 where Rampage
Yeah.
is. That's not a good time slot hardly at all. But 7 to 9 usually not too terribly bad, but not the best day. But so it's been the best, most watched pro wrestling show in the world.
So if you're concerned if SmackDown is going to be changing dates or times, no worries, because it will be staying on Friday nights. Later on this year, we got SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. And along with SummerSlam, there's going to be a bunch of other events happening with the event happening in Nashville. Usually there's a bunch of independent shows going on, but now we are finding out in Starrcast that we are going to get some type of a little reunion of the Talking Smackcast of Renee Paquette and Bryan Danielson. Pretty interesting here, Jeremy.
Yeah, one of my favorite WWE Network shows was Talking Smack, when it was Daniel Bryan and Renee Young. A tremendous show. Of course, we got that iconic promo between Bryan and The Miz back in the day, and just Bryan and Renee always worked so well together, and it was
Great
a great
chemistry.
show. And it was it was a terrible disservice that they got rid of that show when they did. But fortunately for us, they are going to reunite at Starrcast, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man, this will be very interesting. If you guys remember years ago, Renee was on the set when Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, had that incredible confrontation with The Miz, where The Miz had one of the best promos of his entire career. It was a shoot promo that just kind of just went off. And this is right around the time where Daniel Bryan was retired, kind of being the GM of SmackDown, and couldn't come back to wrestle, couldn't get that clearance. And, so this will be interesting. And I'm wondering the stories that they're going to tell. I'm sure they're going to probably touch on that promo and maybe elaborate a little bit more on it during Starrcast. But if I'm in Nashville, I would definitely sign up to go watch this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's back in the news. Today he announced and dropped the new poster for Black Adam. But before he did that, over the weekend, he bought his mom a beautiful brand new house. And man, she was super emotional. We could see it in the video. I'm going to pull up the video here. But why don't you tell a little bit, our viewers, a little bit about the story here?
Yeah, this was on Instagram. The Rock posting, "Love you, Mom," and "Surprise." When I was a little boy, I hated when my mom would cry. These days, I will happily take her tears of joy. I surprised my mom and bought her a new home. Took me and my design team 8 weeks to get ready, where she could walk through her front door for the very first time, and everything she saw was brand new and a total surprise. I've been lucky enough to have bought her a few homes over the years, but this one is special, as she's told me over and over these past few years, after a lifetime of traveling, I want this home to be my last. That's my dream. Mom, there's no greater feeling than to make you happy. Welcome home. If you always say if you got a good mom, then you've got a shot at becoming a good, caring human being. Let's give all our mamas a big grateful squeeze this weekend and make them happy.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of the video for you guys here if you guys didn't catch it, but it is pretty awesome video. She's just taking it all in.
Oh my God, this is beautiful.
I mean, look at that case with all the championships.
That is
all the
sweet.
family lineage.
He's
Look
just
at the little gun with the bang from
built a
from Vince
whole new
McMahon.
room.
Yeah, those cases are sweet.
This is my treasures.
So that was absolutely awesome. I just wanted to share that with everyone. I always love showing those pretty positive stories, especially when The Rock puts something up like that. So that's always sweet. But let's move on to something else that's been getting some positive feedback, and that's WWE 2K22. Just a few months ago, they released this, and we've been getting some DLC packs. A few weeks ago, we got another one, and now we got to stand back with the Hurricane, Shane Helms.
The third DLC in WWE 2K21T2 is now available to download. It'll include Wesley of MSK fame, as well as Hurricane Helms and Stacy Keibler. And from the press release, they say, "Have no fear, citizen. The stand back pack is set to land in WWE 2K22 today. The third DLC pack, headlined by the masked hero, the Hurricane, a former WWE Cruiserweight champion, two-time World Tag Team champion, European champion, WWE Hardcore champion, WCW Hardcore champion, and WCW Cruiserweight champion. The Hurricane arrives alongside three superstars, including fan favorite Stacy Keibler, Spanish Phenom A-Kid, and two-time NXT Tag Team Champion Wes Lee. All four superstars come with My Faction Evo cards, which can be upgraded through gameplay in the My Faction game mode. So, in addition, the pack also includes some other cards for My Faction, a Booker T card, a Sapphire Seth Rollins card, and 4 gold contracts to use in My Faction if you play that. We have not dug into My Faction yet, but I'm sure there will be a time where we probably will mess around with that on getting over on Twitch. But for now, we're having fun with the GM mode, trying to unseat Raw and their cheating asses. But
that's for damn sure. They are some cheating asses.
Yeah, so we'll see if old Dave Meltzer giving the star ratings to Raw and not SmackDown on that GM mode. We're gonna have to try to fix that tomorrow night.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. And again, that's on Twitch immediately after AEW Dynamite. So, guys, make sure you head on over there and hit that subscribe button, as well as our subscribe button over on YouTube. So, let's dive into some of these comments here before we head out. We got through these stories pretty quickly, like we mentioned earlier. It wasn't a
slow news day,
a very crazy news day. But guys, sound off in the comments. Let us know what questions you guys got for us retaining to the week. I did want to talk about a little bit about what happened last night with Judgment Day.
Yeah.
We talked about how we were under the impression weeks ago that Finn Balor was going to be the one to turn. Then you were convinced that, it's not time for him to turn. But then they did have him turn last night as the new member of Judgment Day. And then we get Damian Priest turning on Edge, gets attacked by Finn Balor and Edge. Rhea Ripley's kind of orchestrating the whole thing as well. So right now I don't see a clear leader here, right?
No.
Besides the one that I mentioned earlier. But are you feeling this? It's like a new version of the NWO happening, right? Or a new version of Bullet Club going on right now.
I couldn't believe it happened so soon, but then you think about it, and Edge is not a full-time performer, so it was kind of weird that he was leading his own faction. So I guess it makes sense when you put it into hindsight. Absolutely shocked by the move, so I thought it was really well done. This is going to elevate Finn Balor to a level he hasn't been in a long time. The big question here now is, where's this put AJ? Because AJ's problems were with Edge, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Does AJ join Judgment Day? Where does AJ stand? He wasn't on Raw at all last night.
So it's a very interesting question. When you put it down like that, it's like in my mind was like, okay, is AJ gonna be the one to even though he had this beef with Edge, like he's gonna end up tagging with him at some point?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because he was nowhere to be seen on Monday. Maybe by design to let this whole thing play out. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. course, you got Liv as well. Do AJ and Liv bring in somebody to fight Judgment Day now? Does Edge join AJ and Liv, which I don't think would make any sense at all? Does Edge get his own backup? There's a lot of ways you can go with it, and God damn it, that makes it interesting. Obviously, I enjoyed Judgment Day a lot more than most. A lot of people weren't digging Judgment Day with Edge. I was liking it. It's going to make it very interesting to see where this goes from here. It is a piece that is really lacking on SmackDown now in terms of interesting television. And hell, maybe that's why SmackDown only had one match on a Hell in a Cell, is because SmackDown has been inferior lately.
In my opinion, and Vince Russo may not agree with me, but in my opinion, Raw has been consistently not too bad. It's been pretty
lately,
good.
Yeah.
They do have a lot more stars on that show. I mean, to fill a 3-hour show, so it makes sense to have those bigger names on that show, and they are being utilized well. You've seen Kevin Owens is doing absolutely marvelous work with Ezekiel. He is just, his comedic timing is great. The guy can just be an ultra nasty heel, a comedic heel, a lovable baby. This guy can absolutely do everything. That's what's happening on Raw. You just have better people, for the exception of Roman Reigns on SmackDown. They just have a lot more better people to fill in those 3 hours.
Yeah, it always ping pongs. It always says either one show is good and one show sucks, or vice versa. It never is. Both shows are good most of the time, because there was a long time that SmackDown was a lot better than Raw, and so it is interesting to see, and it's going to be real fun to see where this goes.
Absolutely. Victor Nash says, hey, still no news on the WWE Women's Tag Team titles? Nope. No news on that tournament. No news on what's happening with that.
I saw a new team I would like to form. I saw Liv and Alexa. I wouldn't mind maybe them two pairing up.
Yeah, I think they were alluding to that. That could be a good tag team. Probably because they both kind of look alike. Alexa's a little bit more petite than Liv, but they both kind of send out that same vibe. I'm totally okay with that.
We're at the point where neither woman is really going to be in the title picture in the near term. I can't believe they pulled the trigger on Rhea. I figured Doudrop would win this just to give Bianca an easy win, and heading into SummerSlam to take on Becky Lynch. Now, I think Rhea's going to win at Money in the Bank, and
I'm there too. Yeah,
and we're still going to have Bianca and Becky. It's just going to be no title involved at SummerSlam, maybe. Or maybe they're leading to Asuka and Becky, then stretching that out to SummerSlam. I don't know. I think we could see Becky beat Asuka at Hell in a Cell, and then the rematch where Bianca could get her revenge on Becky at SummerSlam, possibly. But now there's no way you could have Rhea lose unless you have some kind of chicanery. And then you just carry this over to SummerSlam. I figured Rhea, they would hold off Rhea till Clash at the Castle, and just have like Doudrop win and lose at Money in the Bank, then have the Becky match and then lose to Rhea in September. But unless they're stretching this out with some weird things, I don't know. There's no way you could have Rhea lose. Absolutely no way you can have Rhea lose with Judgment Day being as strong as they are.
So hot. They're so hot right now. So I don't see that scenario either. We had an interesting scenario last night when Becky Lynch was interrupted by the 24/7 melee, and
I wanted her to win that. I wanted her to win that.
I did too. But Philip DeShio watching us on Facebook is asking, what do you guys think of Becky Lynch thrown into the 24/7 title mix? That was peculiar. I have to agree. It was peculiar, yet I was rooting for her to win that 24/7 championship, because I think that the tone around that title would have changed dramatically with Becky Lynch having it.
Yeah, a lot of people were upset that she was even involved or even got pinned, but obviously, you got Asuka trolling her at this point, so it kind of made sense.
Story, guys. It's a story that is being told to you. Not everything is going to be your way every single week. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I would have really loved to see what they would have done if she would have won it and where they would have went with it. I think she could have definitely elevated it or made it entertaining much more than they sure hasn't really been entertaining ever, really. But
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today's show. We want to thank you for tuning in and for watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Make sure you are sharing today's show in your favorite wrestling group and tag your friends in the comment section. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new stuff. And as always, again, on Twitch, Wednesday night, immediately after AEW Dynamite, Jeremy and myself will be live getting over on Twitch playing GM mode 2K22. That will be tomorrow immediately after AEW Dynamite. So make sure you guys show the love by subscribing over there. And as always, guys, we love you. We appreciate you.
Sean Ross Sapp with a Fightful Select article incoming. Not there yet, but he's going to have more details on the Edge and Finn Balor double turn coming to Fightful Select here in a short amount of time. We'll cover that tomorrow, possibly.
Yep, we'll get all the info to you guys tomorrow. So again, as always, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Show us the support. And as always, give us a follow on all of our social medias at Jose G Official for me, JB Huskers for Jeremy, and on the social medias for Sportskeeda Wrestling, SK Wrestling _ on Instagram, Twitter, and SK Wrestling on YouTube. As always, guys, remember when watching wrestling, you have to do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
Enjoy wrestling. Yeah. Let me talk to you.
Do
Pre.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!